Things are heating up between the Federación Internacional del Automóvil and the current Formula 1 drivers as more rules are coming into place. In the words of Formula 1 themselves, F1 is the home of risk takers, late breakers and history makers. These drivers push to the limits every single day with their training and when they step into their cars. But behind the scenes, a struggle is happening. This struggle has caused the drivers to band together and create a new social media account for the GPDA. The GPDA stands for Grand Prix Drivers Association. After the Brazilian Grand Prix, an Instagram account was launched for the Formula 1 Drivers Union. All current F1 drivers, with the addition of Ollie Behrman and Kimi Antonelli, are followed by the account. After weeks of issues brewing between the FIA and drivers, the drivers have decided to take a stand. But this isn't the first time this has happened. In 1982, the GPDA went on strike during the Kyalami Grand Prix weekend. This strike was over a super license rule tying drivers to one team for 3 years. At the time, the strike was led by Niki Lauda and Didier Pironi. In more recent years, drivers such as Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen have had issues with the FIA. In 2022, Lewis Hamilton fought against the FIA's crackdown on their jewellery ban. Coming after the 2021 controversy, he felt as if the FIA were targeting him. He said, "I've had jewellery on for 16 years, so was safety not an issue back then?" After a show of resilience, Hamilton eventually took out his jewellery. However, his lack of jewellery lasted a little over half a season as he received a medical exemption. Sebastian Vettel has also fought against the FIA in 2022 over a different issue, their underwear rules. Both drivers felt as if the FIA was attempting to infringe on their personal rights and freedoms. This is something that is still going on right now. Max Verstappen has most recently taken a stand against the FIA and its crackdown on swearing during media conferences. Verstappen swore during a press conference and then was handed community service by the stewards. In a protest against this, he began to give one-word answers during press conferences. After the show of defiance from Verstappen, other drivers such as Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton showed their support by saying they wouldn't do the community service if it was them and that it was ridiculous. The account made its first post on the 7th of November. Their statement serves to remind the FIA and its president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, that while they are race car drivers, they are still adults first. At the beginning of the statement, the GPDA acknowledged the fact that safety and sportsmanlike conduct are important and that the driver understands that. However, the statement also goes on to mention the issue of swearing. Most, if not all drivers, are in agreement of the drivers being able to say what they want as it is a high adrenaline-based sport. Included in the statement is the line, "We urge the FIA president to also consider his own tone and language when talking to our member drivers or indeed about them, whether in a public forum or otherwise." This particular line hits at the current president of the FIA as he has recently said some controversial things about and towards other drivers. The statement also mentions the fines the drivers are facing left and right. Max Verstappen has been given community service following a press conference where he swore. Charles Leclerc was fined €10,000 for the same thing. As mentioned in the statement, one of the issues the drivers have with the FIA is the issue of fund allocation. The F1 drivers have requested for the FIA to release all information regarding where the monetary funds have previously been and are currently going. Over the course of the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend, Charles Leclerc received his fine for swearing and Mercedes received 2 fines for adjusting tyres on the track before the race started. Over the 2024 season, multiple drivers have been fined for various issues. Yuki Tsunoda was fined for comments he made over his radio. Another issue that arose from the Brazilian Grand Prix is the argument of safety. Many drivers felt as if the race should have been red flagged or cancelled due to the unsafe weather conditions. Over the Haas team radio, Oliver Behrman mentioned that he was doing his best and trying not to die. Oscar Piastri mentioned that he couldn't see. The weekend was controversial in the safety practices, to say the least. A virtual safety car during sprint qualifying was controversial due to its timing, as well as a red flag during the Q2 session of the feature race qualifying. As a call to arms, the end of the GPDA statement reads, The GPDA wishes to collaborate in a constructive way with all the stakeholders, including the FIA president, in order to promote our great sport for the benefit of everyone who works in it, pays for it, watches it, and indeed loves it. We're playing our part. The Instagram account has also used the hashtag #RacingUnited. It seems as if all 20 drivers are in on this together. As the precious amounts on the drivers, could we see another strike? If so, do you think we could get another infamous sleepover with all the F1 drivers? Let us know in the comments below.